Today's video is brought to you by PureVPN. If you've been needing a VPN, then check them out down below. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Jeff, and today we're gonna have some fun playing Magic. And I don't know how I haven't played this card yet, but it is time. Jadzi, Oracle of Arcavios. Nailed it first try. 7 mana, 5/5. You can discard a card to return it back to its owner's hand, and it has an amazing Magecraft ability. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a non-land card, you may cast it by paying 1 mana rather than paying its mana cost. If it's a land card, put it onto the battlefield. We also have the other side, Journey to the Oracle. 4 mana, you may put any number of land cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Then if you control 8 or more lands, you may discard a card. If you do, return it back to its owner's hand. So initially this was spoiled as a 3 mana card, but that was actually a misprint. It is a 4 mana card. At 3 mana, this would be actually a really busted card. At 4 mana, you typically don't have enough lands to really be doing enough with this, but every once in a while, if we need to be ramping up to get a Jadzi and we have multiples in our hand, it's an extra card for us, which is sweet. So for Jadzi to work, we have to get up to 7 mana, we have to cast Jadzi, then we have to cast instants of sorceries and have enough mana to pay 1, and then we get to cast spells for free. So typically we're gonna have to wait an extra turn after getting this out to actually keep it alive and then go off. Luckily, this deck is full of ramp. First off, we have Emergent Sequence, which is an amazing new card from Strixhaven. 2 mana, sorcery, search your library for basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle. That land becomes a fractal creature, except it's still land. You put a +1/+1 counter for each land that enters the battlefield under your control this turn. So this can come down as a 3/3 pretty often. Then of course we have Lotus Cobra to make sure we ramp up with all the landfalls that we're hitting. We have Cultivate to hit more lands, put them into our hand for Jazzi's ability, as well as just to keep hitting our land drops for Lotus Cobra. And then Migration Path for 4 mana, search your library for 2 basic lands, put them onto the battlefield. Also Beanstalk Giant. These adventure cards work fantastic for Magecraft, so absolutely have to add it in here. We also want a really big beefy body to be able to play for free with Jadzi sometimes, so there you go. So what else goes really well with ramp? Well, we have Augmenter Pugilist. 3 mana, 3/3, but it gets +5/+5 if we have 8 or more lands on the battlefield. We also have Echoing Equation, 5 mana, choose target creature you control. We can turn everything that we control into that one creature, except they won't even be legendary. So if we turn everything into a Jadzi, then every time we cast 1 instant or sorcery, we can pay 1 over and over and over again to cast a ton of things off the top of our deck. Or we can turn everything into an Elder Gargaroth, we can turn everything into an Augmenter Pugilist, or if we want to go flying over the top, we turn everything into a Brazen Borrower. Just don't turn everything into the Emergent Sequence land, because it won't actually get the +1/+1 counters. It'll turn everything into a 0/0 and they'll all die. Bad idea. For our support spells, we have Vivian, Monster's Advocate. Just lets us kind of build up a board. It's a good thing to ramp into and create a board state that is hard for people to deal with. And it gives us a bunch of card advantage by being able to play creatures off the top of our deck. We also have 2 copies of Alrund's Epiphany. It's just one of the best things to play off the top of the deck with Jadzi. And having extra turns means we get to go off even more with him. Then of course, Decisive Denial to give us some options to counter spells and give us a chance to fight and remove creatures as well. So that's the deck. The full breakdown and analysis of the deck is done after the gameplay. So let's go ahead and dive into it now. After you guys hit the subscribe button and turn the like button blue for the YouTube algorithm. All right, up against Fox, we have 0 of our early game ramp except for Beanstalk Giant, which does get us up to a Vivian or a Gargaroth on turn 4. And on the play, that might be fast enough against a Yorion. Vivian is pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and try this one out. We have a bunch of 2-drop spells. If we find the Emergent Sequence, that'd be amazing. Most of our ramp spells actually are on 3 mana anyway, so we're gonna try this one out. Lead off a Fabled Passage, pass the turn. All right, what kind of Yorion deck is this? Catch Your Trap doesn't mean it's not Sultai. So still a chance there. Emergent Sequence is nice. That gets us some good ramp here. Grab an island. It's a 2/2. Now we have a body to be beating down with. We also are getting a lot closer to the ramp up to Vivian, which I think is our best play in this matchup. Brazen Borrower. That actually lets us hold up mana for Brazen Borrower here. Fertile Footsteps. Grab a Forest. Do I want to hold up Brazen Borrower or do I want to hit in for 2? What could they be playing here? We can't bounce our own stuff back. They're probably cultivating. It could be a Willful Haven though, which that would be worthwhile. So no attacks, pass the turn. Huh. Well, we don't really want to bounce that. Although it doesn't do a whole lot, and we get to play out... It gives us an extra turn to maybe find something for Vivian, so sure, we'll bounce it now. We don't have that many creatures that are actually below the two power there. Well, no lands. So pass the turn. We also don't have the extra blue source for the Brazen Borrower now. That's a real feel bad play. Hopefully no counter spell now. So it is Sultai. Binding Little Gods is a real issue here for the Vivian. Elspeth's Nightmare, that's fine. Now we don't... They're going to take away the Cultivate, but we still play out the Vivian.
A world of monsters? This is my paradise.
All right, let's give it Reach. I think is necessary in this. Yeah, let's go Reach. Luckily, these guys don't die to Heartless Axe. They don't die to Elspeth's Nightmares. They get to take our Cultivate. That is annoying. We know we're not getting a land off the top. Also annoying. We're going to grab a few creatures with Gargaroth. And Vivian really is a very good threat here. All right, Lotus Cobra off the top lets us cast it. I could, I want to get a land on the top. So I can -2 here and play the Gargaroth. And grab us an Augmenter Pugilist, which is still a good amount of damage. We're going to do that now before they have a chance to remove it in response. This is, we don't have to do it right away. So we attack it now. So the reason why I'm doing that right away is if they had instant speed removal for the Vivian, I go to combat and swing in, they could technically get away with it. They probably would have done it beforehand, but just in case. So Shadow's Verdict is annoying. So Mystical Dispute kills the Gargaroth, but we get an Augmenter Pugilist out of this still, which dies, unfortunately, to Shadow's Verdict. Migration Path off the top is nice. All right, we need to find our counterspell. We need to find Decisive Denial. Migration Path will at least let us get some more lands, get up to Jadzi. Jadzi? I keep saying it wrong. Not Jadzi. Jadzi. I'm going to say it however I want to say it. Just deal with it. All right, 6 power on the board. They're still going to have to deal with this. We get 2 more lands on the battlefield, so up to 7. Cultivate. Rance up. Yeah, we really need to find Decisive Denial and quick. Because now they have Ultimatum online for the next turn. And it's on the top. Oh no. Oops. So I can cycle. I can play this now, or I can cycle into it and hold up Brazen Bar. You know, actually, that's probably the better play.
I call and Decoria and
Oh, that means that we don't get to ramp. But for this situation, I think that holding up the counterspell is necessary. So pass the turn. We can also hold a Brazen Borrower to flash in if need be. Cycles. So 7 mana right now. They'll have 8. If they have another Mystical Dispute, our counterspell doesn't work for him right now because they now have the blue source. And let's see if they have it. All right. So do they have another Mystical Dispute? Is their hand that busted? Yeah, we countered it. All right. That's most likely game now. Yes. Sweet. Okay. All right. I like that. That was really good. Good stuff. All right. Up against Seb Monocle. And we do have Lotus Cobra into Emergent Sequence. which is pretty sweet stuff. Or do we go emergent sequence first? Technically, we get more ramp out of the Lotus Cobras later, but I think that we're going to try to just get more lands out on the battlefield. Because that technically ramps us up more than the Lotus Cobra does. Which would let us play out a Lotus Cobra and then foretell the Epiphany at least. All right, so Seb Monocle, what you got going on there? Sorry, guys, I am getting a new chair soon. This one is super squeaky. I actually have it ordered and it's coming in, but it's like shipping. It'll be here in May, but it's going to be sweet. Let's go Snarling. Pass the turn. Beanstalk Giant's a little bit interesting too. It gives us an untapped land. We actually get a lot of mana here if they don't kill our emergent sequence, dude. Mire Triton. Okay. So they're probably gonna have Heartless Axe. Which one has the biggest upside? I'm really not sure now, because we get another play that we can go off with, which is really sweet. We make an emergent sequence even bigger. I think it is. Let's see here. If we play Lotus Cobra this turn, next turn we get to play out a land, play out emergent sequence with that, put the other Lotus Cobra, play out a land, play emergent sequence, and then Beanstalk Giant. No, I think we're actually a little bit short on that, even if we do it. So let's go with this. Let's grab an island. Pass the turn. So now we get to play Lotus Cobra, play out the land, play Beanstalk Giant, play out the other Lotus Cobra. Yeah. Unless this dies. Bloodchief's Thirst kills it. Heartless Act does kill it because it gets enough counters off of it and turns into a 0/0. Sad day. Other thing to remember too, Ugin actually kills these ones because they are actually, they turn into blue-green fractal creatures. So this land is actually colored now. Okay, Foulmire Knight. Sweet. Oh, and an emergent sequence. Okay, then. So Lotus Cobra. Land. Do I go for the emergent sequence now? So Beanstalk Giant gives us an untapped land. I guess it is emergent sequence. That technically ramps us up more. At the same time, though, we can use it with the Lotus Cobras to do even more stuff on the next turn. So I think we set it for the next turn instead. All right, so that's 5 lands. We get to emergent sequence. Hopefully hit another land off the top, actually. Maybe we just go for Vivian. I like this deck. Mire's Grasp. Okay. Having 2 Lotus Cobras is still nice, though. I'm surprised they're not just hitting the lands. Yeah, why aren't you... Okay. So we know they have Bloodchief's Thirst. Yeah, we still go Vivian. Land off the top isn't the worst. Let's go with Vigilance. Sure. Still dodges Heartless Act, does not dodge Mire's Grasp.
Stompy.
Death Touch dudes are annoying. Alright, Foulmire Knight. Doesn't have the Bloodchief's Thirst then. Another Mire Triton, so they're going wide. Alright, perfect. We're fine with that. I am probably going to trade off with the Mire Triton. They don't even let us do it. Rude. So I can -2, augment your pugilist, grab a Lotus Cobra. I can turn everything into Beanstalk Giants later as well, though. And this gives us more creatures to do it with. Or into Pugilists later. Yeah, let's see if we can get another creature off the top that we can play to kind of keep a little bit more value coming. Forest. Nope. All right, so foretell the Epiphany. Give this Vigilance. What does this one have? Vigilance. We're just going to force them to start trading off. I mean, if they kill it, I guess technically it would have been better to hold off to get more creatures for giving something trample or making something bigger. And we have Alrund's Epiphanies, but I want to start getting in for some damage, so I'm willing to trade these guys off. I don't think it's that big of a deal for us. I'm also fine taking 4 here. Maybe I'm just fine taking 2. All right, so we have 2 extra turns here, which means lots of stuff with Vivian. Let's actually go trample with these guys now. Alrund's Epiphany. Get blockers for the Demonic Embrace thing now. Trample also helps a little bit here. There's a Jadzi off the top. Oh, it's 8 mana. 8 mana. My bad. All right, so all right, Alrund's Epiphany number 2. Sweet. Yeah, extra turns with Vivian is so nice as well. Give him another trample, dude.
Every day is a new mutation.
Are they scooping now? Heartless acting their own guy? Yeah, all of our guys have stuff. So one more extra turn. We don't actually get to play Jadzi out this turn. Jadzi. This would be the game that we could do it, but we're already getting so much value anyway. Down to 20. Land off the top, so we don't actually want to change what's off the top here. Feels a little bit funky, but we don't. We can turn everything into 3/3s and swing in. How much damage does that do? It's actually quite a bit. We can turn everything into Brazen Barbers later, though, as well. Let's bounce here. Let's just go Pugilist. We came to play Jadzi, so we're going to do it. Swing in, hold back one of these guys. Hold back these guys. Swing in. All right, down to 12. Pass the turn. We have one blocker for the Demonic Embrace. Not that, I guess, yeah, we didn't know if they were going to block there or not. Because they didn't block, we should have swung in, but that's fine. Gain some life back up to 14. No, don't skip it for... We're about to play Jadzi. Come on. I mean, we were well ahead, but it could have happened. All right, up against Spocklet Chips, and 2 lands on the draw with double Lotus Cobra. 1 land means we get pretty far ahead. At the same time, though, we need lands to actually get up to all the good stuff. So hopefully we find some Cultivates, some Migration's Paths, some, you know, any of the things that we have a million of. I want one of those. Let's see if it happens. Lotus Cobra. Pass the turn. Lotus Cobra number 2 into Island. Into 3 mana Brazen Bar or something. Glass Casket. Rude. We do have the ability to bounce that at some point. I'm not sure if that's actually worthwhile. Could do it now. But then if they have Shatter the Sky or Board Wipe, whatever, they can just do that. Go for that plan instead. So pass the turn. We have a chance for Gargaroth on the next turn, which is good. Maze Mind Tome. Cultivate. But here's the question. Do they counter our Gargaroth right now? Or have a Doomscar on the next turn? Or do we just cultivate to try to get the bigger stuff? Let's throw out our first threat. Let's go Gargaroth. Hopefully survives. Okay. Swing in. A turn for Gargaroth is still really powerful. It is aggressive. It is good. Doomscar right now would be bad. That's a tapped land. They are playing Shatter. Interesting. Okay. That's also really good. So Beanstalk Giant. Let's grab green source, blue source, cultivate. All right, so we have Jadzi next turn. But we can wait. We can try to get up to 10 mana and play him out. Brazen Borrower. Well, actually, we need to be able to have 11 mana to play him out, Brazen Borrower, and pay for it. That's just so impossible. We're gonna try for something like that, but I don't expect it. All right, saw it coming. Do you think they're actually gonna counter out the Beanstalk Giant instead? If it's a saw it coming, let's go for that. It's something that they have to board, right? Have to kill. It gives us a chance to do the Jadzi stuff a little bit more. Okay, saw it coming. Figured. Good. We played around it a little bit. And this deck can get up to 11 mana, so we can do the thing. At the same time, though, it's only just one card that we get to see off the top. This really goes off when we get to have a whole extra turn afterwards. Brings Yorion to hand, holding up Saw It Coming. Well, it's another threat we can play that's not Jadzi, so we'll do it. We might just bounce the wall. I'm trying to hold these up for this as well, though, so pass the turn. Brazen Borrower. Okay. Do I bounce a wall? Is it worthwhile? Not really. All right, so they can play out Yorion just to blink the Maze Mind Tome. It's not really amazing. Birth of Militus gets a land. Now they can play the Yorion, get a bit more value. I can bounce back the Maze. Well, yeah, it doesn't really matter. I think we just end up bouncing the Yorion back to hand, right? Although that lets him do it again. Is that better? If Gargaroth survives, we're in good shape. All right, so how much mana do we have now? We have 9. All right, Gargaroth and Augmenter Pugilist is actually pretty good. That's an 8/8. Pass the turn. So now their best play is a board wipe, which gets rid of their own Yorion. Okay, Doomscar. Now please don't have a Sot coming, please. No! So dumb. I mean, these Brazen Borrowers are actually pretty nice. We should be going off with them instead, but see if they have Brazen Borrower. We know they have this one. Draws a card. No, come on. For the love of science, we need to make this happen one time. All right, plays out the Brazen Borrower. Most likely not a board wipe now. Drawing for answers, scrying here off the top to the bottom. Looks like they don't have an answer for this then. If they're doing that, it's either they're trying to find a better answer. Swings in for 3. Looks like a board wipe. We get to untap. Oh, okay then. All right, 3 instant speed spells and 3 targets. Okay. That's a glass casket. Resolve. We still got the trigger. All right, so land. Okay, I'm not cracking the fill passage in case it's another chance. Wow, nice. All right, cool. Yes, we'll pay 1 for another land. Get that out of the deck. Wait. Full control. Can I respond to this trigger here? I don't know. I want to crack the field passage now. I should have. So you cast it for free, so they are countering it. This does not actually trigger its own, the Jadzi itself, so it actually doesn't matter. All right. Yeah, that's right. We had all of the Brazen Borrower as well. Okay. It's not amazing. Yeah, they had all of the negates, though. That's ridiculous. 3 negates in hand. All right, down to 17, past the turn. We have our Brazen Bar we can play. They can gain some life here with this and the Gates of Isfel. They have Gas Gasket still. We need to find an instant sorcery off the top. We still haven't found Alrund's Epiphanies. Not going to block. I'd rather have the damage personally, so. Not going for Glass Casket, not going for anything else. Migration's Path, okay. It's a lot of mana. When does the Magecraft? Magecraft should happen before this. It should, we cast it and the Magecraft thing should go off. Like where's the Magecraft trigger? Oh, we got the land out of it. That's right. Okay, it did go off beforehand. Doesn't actually matter because we don't have anything to do with it. Okay, so we attack it. Moment of the Sun. All right, so they can kill some Lotus Cobras this way. Cool. So they're holding up Gates of Isfel. They do also have Crawling Barrens at some point, which can actually get really big. We probably should be having some kind of lands like that. I wanted to make sure that we hit our colors, but we really should be playing something like this with all the ramp that we have to have something to do with our mana. So Crawling Barrens would be amazing in this format, or in this deck. Do I shuffle and try to get more lands out? We still have pathways and other stuff. Let's We hit a land off the top, but there's a chance it's not a land off the top right now, so let's not do that. What are the odds of a land? Let's look at MTG Assistant, which, by the way, link is in the description below. It's free. It helps support the channel if you guys go and download. Yeah, Glass Casket for the Brazen Borrower. So land is 24% chance right now. I can get it a little bit lower by cracking this. We actually would shuffle and have a decent chance of it not being that still. It would technically be a better chance, and probably even more so because it's not there. I'm going to go ahead and crack it. Please don't hit a land off the top. I mean, it's still 1 in 4 chance, right? Okay, we don't have any more. Dang it, that was actually a misplay then. That's fine. Another Jadzi. Well, I can cast the Oracle side of it. I can make this a 3. I think I want to hold on to this for later. How many Omen of the Suns do they have? They have 2 more? I think it's just a chump block here. All right, so do I try pressing my advantage right now? Getting more stuff off the battlefield onto the battlefield is what matters here. So let's go for the Journey to the Oracle. We have 1 more to try to find later. We're down to half of our deck. We need to try to find good stuff here. I can play both sides of it. Play the Beanstalk Giant side. All right, that's a 14-14. We know they still have board wipes, but that at least was a better thing than just the Jadzi here. We are still dying to this Brazen Borrower, though. Maybe I should have held back and actually tried trading off with that. Draws a card with Maze Mine, goes back up to 19. Shark Typhoon. We actually don't have that many answers for that. We still haven't seen like Beholden Multiverses, things like that as well. So I can discard it to return it back to hand. This gets rid of their Brazen Borrower. They still get a 2/2 Shark, but it means they don't get the other stuff. Don't you dare have another counterspell. Alright, Omen of the Sea. Dang it, man. We need more card advantage. We're all in on the ramp plan and getting Jadzi out, but we aren't playing as many of these other just like value cards. Things like Shark Typhoon. Like Shark Typhoon actually would be pretty good in our deck. Except it's not an instant sorcery to work with Jadzi. Yeah, that's game. Gargaroth helps a little bit. It lets us gain life and block something big. Man, we have so much mana. Swinging with Beanstalk Giant. Yeah, we're definitely dead. Man. Oh, what a game, though. That was a fun one. We actually got to play out the Jadzi and do some stuff. That was the first time I'd ever seen anyone use Jadzi and work. I've been playing for a while, so that's at least fun. Yeah, they take it. That's definitely the best play. We have 0 mana, 0 cards. Not like we can do much of anything. I think a Crawling Barrens would have been a really nice thing to have extras of. There's a 5/5, yeah. Yeah, no blocks, so let's take it all. We can gain 3 life, but that's not enough to stop all the other damage. We can draw a card, we have nothing that actually would work there. It's fine, we're done. We're done. And that was a blast. That was a really fun game. All right, so we went 2-1 with Jadzi Ramp, and on the draw 2 times. I mean, with 3 games, that's not that big of a deal, but we did win 100% of the time on the play. So undefeated on the play, booyah. I'm not gonna use that for clickbait. That would just be rude. I'm not that kind of person, even though I know others that do that. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so this deck is fun. the Jadzi stuff was awesome. We did make it happen. Ramping up is good. Ramping up the Gargoyles and Vivian's still powerful. It still beat decks. Having epiphanies to be able to go off with it is good. We found that one decisive now. Like, that was such a clutch play. That was so sweet. Augmenter Pugilist, we got him out as an 8/8. That's the first time I've ever seen that happen. I never got to use the echoing equation, but it was kind of cool that we got out quite a big board with emergent sequences, Lotus Cobras, the tokens from Alrund's Epiphanies. You know, we actually had quite a few things out there, and I could have Augmented Pugilist to do something, but we didn't have a big creature out at the same time. But we would have been able to turn everything into big stuff, and the emergent sequences work really well with that because they do become Gargaros, but they keep the counters on them, which is really, really cool. And so I think that I actually built another version similar to this one in Historic. I'll probably be playing that sometime soon as well, where it's, you know, it's all with Nissa being able to make the lands that give counters as well with Echoing Equation to do even more busted stuff, as well as having just really cool things in it. But I did find out when I was playing that one that Ugin does kill the emergent sequences stuff, so just a heads up there in case you guys are gonna go play. So super fun deck. I'm not gonna break this one down too much this time because I think we saw basically everything it did. We didn't find as many cultivates as I was hoping for, but as far as did we ramp well? And the answer to that is holy crap, yes. Yes, we did. I do think we actually got out all of our basic lands a number of times. I thought that 12 would be plenty, that we wouldn't be doing that. But between Fabled Passages, Beanstalk Giants, Cultivates, Migrations Paths, Emergent Sequences, we actually get through 12 lands pretty easily. Snarls came in pretty consistently for us. Is it better to run Snarls or Temples? Because we don't have anything on the 1-drop slot, it could be nice to be run some Temples. But I think that overall Snarls is the right play here because it lets us play it out on turn 2, turn 3 fairly consistently. In the late game, it is just a tap land, but so a temple. A temple would be a tap land there as well. Do we want more basic lands instead? No, I think that having the dual land is worthwhile. And so if anything, we might want to go down 1 or 2 for extra temples and keep the Snarls around, but then we have less chance of actually having Snarl work for us. And so I don't know. There were some times that Snarls came in on turn 5 with Vivian's Gargaros, which is really annoying. That, of course, is bad. It is feel bad. But the deck is fun. The deck is good. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. You know what I missed, though? We needed a body of research. We needed a body of research and a way to give him trample or whatever. So, sorry. One card to include, one body of research, because if you can hit that off the top with Jadzi, I mean, okay, that sounds fun. So do that as well. All right. Have a good one. Thanks so much, and bye-bye.